was a lot of crashes in this New Mexico area here, about 8 or 9 recoveries from the early 40s or middle 40s on. The earliest one happened in 1945, the day after the surrender was signed on the battleship, over here at San Antonio Wash, where the old highway used to come through.
Yeah.
A man was coming back from a training mission in a B-29, flew over what looked like an airplane crash in a wash right short of the highway. He took a good look at it, called the control tower and told them there's an airplane on the ground here. They made a search, said we don't have any airplanes out there. So when he got back to the base, he jumped in his car and drove back. He found the crash right there, and there was one live alien walking around confused in the area, and some others there that apparently were dead. And there were 2 Indian boys sitting on ponies watching. They had seen the crash come in, and they were sitting there on their ponies watching to see what was going to happen. But the time he drove back, they're still there. So they watched, and when the air base didn't find that any missing airplanes, they sent a team out anyway to see what crashed. And they found this disc that had 4 bodies in it, 3 dead and 1 alive one. They took the live one to Roswell Air Force Base. Rick was in an initial investigation there. And the Army recovered the residue. This was early enough, they didn't have a lot of this before that. So the Army crew worked on the recovering the crash. At 5 o'clock, they all quit and went to the bar to drink beer. And they came back the next day. But they did take the live one with them. And so they finished the recovery the next day, but the 2 Indian boys came back the next day too. They came back after the Army left, dragged a big piece of the craft that was loose into a ravine and covered it with dirt. That one is still there. We're trying to get back to it now, but the rest of it was all recovered by the Army. Just over there, not too far from here.
Yeah.
But there was at least 8 here that happened in the next 10 years. There was that one. There was one that came down 7 2/10 miles south by southwest of Socorro. It had 4 live beings in it. The craft stubbed its toe coming into a wash on a rift, flipped over on its back against some rocks. The occupants were able to release themselves, and they were hovering under when the Army patrol arrived on the scene. The air traffic control saw it coming out of control, and it figured pretty close where it was going to land. They sent an Army team out to close the highway so they could cut it all off. And that one was recovered when the Army the Army was told when they sent the people out there to close off the area, to just close off the area and don't do anything, don't try to approach the craft. A team is coming out from Washington. So a team arrived several hours later, flown out from Washington with a 2-star general in charge and some recovery people. And the Army officer in charge of the scenes briefed the general when he got there. He said, no, they haven't left the ship. They've been hovering under there all the time, and they're fearful of us. They seem to be. And they always clutch these rectangular black boxes to their breast. They won't. They never let go of them. So the general turned to a sentry there and said, go get me one of those boxes.